Another amazing event opens up at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. We are here for the opening day of the Food and Wine Festival to enjoy the park and give you guys an extensive guide on how to make the most of your visit for the Food and Wine Festival at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. Welcome back to Edutainment. My name's Eddie, and today, like you heard, we're at Busch Gardens Williamsburg for the opening day of the Food and Wine Festival. It is a beautiful day in Williamsburg, Virginia, and we're going to take you guys around and give you guys an in-depth guide on how to make the most of this amazing event. There's a couple things that I always suggest, like downloading the app. Yes, baby. But a couple other things that you could do to maximize your experience of this amazing event. There's food, there's performers, and different things going on around the park. So we're already inside the park. Let's have some fun. And we take a quick seat so we could tell you a little bit more about this amazing event. This is truly our third favorite event here at Busch Gardens Williamsburg, right behind Howl-O-Scream and their Christmas town. The Food and Wine Festival is a great time to come to the park, and it runs for a good amount of time. It's April 24th through the 22nd. Download the app so that you could navigate through all the different locations. There's a ton of food to experience. It looks like we got 150 different international flavors and 18 themed food and beverage locations throughout the park. And we're going to be taking you guys along, trying out some of the amazing food. Oh, doo-doo head. He loves to say doo-doo stuff. But we're going to take you guys along. We're going to enjoy it. But one of the things that we have to start off with is one of the tasting lanyards here at Busch Gardens Williamsburg for their Food and Wine Festival. So just as you enter, to the right side, right next to the little sweet treat shop, is where you could go ahead and get your Sip and Savor lanyard. We ended up getting ours, and if I recall last year, the options were a 5 and a 10 tasting lanyard. This year it's a 10 and a 15, which means there isn't a super cheap option, but that also means that you probably save more per item. So the 10 is what we went with, because our pass also gave us some pass perks. We ended up getting 2 free every single time that we come because we're platinum pass members, and I believe for regular members it's 1 free sampler every time that you come, so make sure you take advantage of that as well. But we're going to see if we could actually save some money with this right here, or how much is it that you need to purchase in order to save money, or how much each item has to be in order to save money and make sure that you make the most of your tasting lanyard. We got our stuff, we're ready to go. Let's start making our way and grab our first item. And in case I didn't mention it, I'm not sure if I did in that last clip, the 10 tasting lanyard was $77 after taxes and fees. That's the number we're playing off to make sure we maximize our visit. And we start our culinary adventure over at Virginia. We have the Chesapeake style crab cake sliders. We got jalapeno cheddar hush puppies, the apple crisp, and we also got some drinks. Now, the Chesapeake style crab cake sliders seems like a very good option to do with the lanyard because it's $12. That means if I got 10 of these, I would get my money and some, because $77, obviously 12 times 10 is much more than that. So these are the type of items we want to be shooting for, and we'll let you know what the minimum item is that you want to like shoot towards. We'll do the math. All right, so our first stop is Virginia, and we ended up getting the Hush Puppy as well as the Crab Cake Slider. These look delicious, and these are returning items, but Virginia does have a couple of other items as well that we could take a look at. They did give us a nifty guide over by the center where we got our lanyard, and we ended up using our 2, we got a Chardonnay as well. You like that? It's delicious. But if you go through the little guide, you could actually pull up Virginia right here. It's the first one. And this is the menu. We got the new jalapeno and cheddar hush puppies. We got the cheese style crab cake sliders. So this is the new one. Okay, so I thought that was actually a returning one. It's actually a new one. And then we have some cocktails. It is the Food and Wine Festival, so we ended up grabbing ourselves the Chardonnay with a little food. These things look delicious. And it sounds like Ollie already loves it. All right. right, so our little man is already beating us to the punch. Are the hush puppies good?
Yeah.
And they have like a little sauce with them. I think it's like a mango sauce. Let's see. Let me take a look. It's a Dijon mustard marmalade, which I think that means it's sweet. Those are good, but I could have sworn we had something like this. Too saucy? We had something like this last year. I'm not sure. It says it's new on the menu though. The aftermath of the hush puppies. And cheers. You're cheersing with your snack? The wine is good, but you do lose some money when you use your sampler card for this because they're tiny. Cheers. Come on, baby, cheers. Boop. Thank you. And we stop and say hi to the newest and coolest, Henry and Ferguson, the new Clydesdale here at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. This is truly the coolest edition that they've had. Big Bad Wolf who? All right, so the little pamphlet does have a map legend, so you could navigate your way around, but I do want to strategize a little bit because I want something tasty, I want something new. Virginia, those jalapeno hush puppies were delicious, but we're gonna make our way over to Jamaica eventually because I love their Jamaican beef patties, but let's see. Africa was here last year. Hawaii is returning. New coconut macadamia chocolate tart. I'm not in the mood for desserts just yet. A puff puff is a fried dough powdered sugar. Interesting. Let's see, Mexico. Might have to go to Mexico to get a frozen margarita. See if they could redeem themselves from last year when their frozen margaritas were not frozen. And this is the new place that actually took over the French Quarters where you could get yourself your, what are those puff balls? And I forget the name of them. So this year you can't get those. I'm gonna have to put it underneath what it is. For whatever reason, I'm blanking out, but everything here is new. We got pierogies, kielbasa. I don't know how to pronounce that one, but yeah. And then Brazil. I think we're gonna have to make our way back to Poland. Let's try something completely new. And as we continue making our way, we pay respects to the beautiful water features as we make our way into Ireland. All right, so we stopped by Africa just to take a quick look at the menu. I don't think we're gonna grab anything here, but today's the first day and it's only like 2 hours in. How are they out of stock of anything? But a couple of the items here are returning items. The bubble tea was my favorite last year, $7.25. The peri peri chicken, you can't go wrong with that. That's actually what's photographed here, and that's the bubble tea. Koshari, not sure what that is. Blend of rice, pasta, lentil, chickpeas, crispy onions, and zesty tomato sauce. Yum, yum. And this is the new item, the puff puff. So it's like fried dough and powder balls. So it's kind of a replacement for the beignets. That's what it was, beignets, over in France. All right, so we stop over here in Africa. We're not gonna grab anything to eat, but I did wanna get to the pricing and how you could maximize the food lanyard. So $77 is what it costed with taxes and fees, which means that is $7.70 per item minimum in order to just break even. We got the crab cake, which was $12. So technically, if you got the crab cake and got 10 of them, there's a bug on me, big old ant. If you got 10 of them, you would end up spending $120 technically. That would be a $43 savings. So you get the math there. Just make sure that your items are above $7.70, and that lanyard is well worth it. And we keep making our way, and we also pass Hawaii, another staple here at the event, one that we may come back to grab some food, but I don't want to grab any food from here. We're gonna be making our way over to Poland, but maybe a drink. The tiki bar is who would have the drinks, but the line does seem a little bit significant, so we're gonna keep making our way over to Poland. Now, how can I forget the margarita bar? It's just tucked away enough that it didn't have much of a line at all, but this year they did change it up. They are not offering frozen drinks. They're all on the rocks, which is unfortunate. I was hoping for a frozen drink, but we ended up getting ourselves I think it's the passion fruit, which is delicious. With the salted rim, adds a nice little, like, pop in the flavor there. And also back here behind the margarita bar, as well as the aviary, this is a great spot to grab a seat, giving you the ultimate guide to the Food and Wine Festival. If you're looking for a nice spot to grab a seat, look at this. I have it all to myself. And look at Ollie over there. We got like the little fountain, so there's some nice ambiance and sound with all the birds and some great seating. What are you doing over here, baby? They need to put some koi over here. Such a beautiful little pond, and nobody's home. Okay, so now we weren't planning on eating anywhere else. We were gonna go straight to Poland, but the Mexican pavilion has no line at all, and that's kind of strange. So let's go ahead and take advantage of that. And Mexico is typically one of the very popular booths, but today, as you can see, a very mild line. So we're gonna take advantage of that. I'm sure when we come back like on a Saturday, this is not gonna be easy to eat at. So we wanna get 770 or above. There's not many items here that are 770 or above in order for us to take advantage of them. Let's see, the sopapilla cheesecake bar is the only item, but you know what? We'll take the L and we'll get ourselves, I don't believe the taco trio falls under it. We'll get ourselves the shredded beef taco. We'll get the shredded beef taco. And we ended up getting ourselves the beef taco, and Ollie got himself a Sprite, and I think he fell in love with it because we never give him soda, and now he had his first taste, and I'm pretty sure he's addicted. Okay, we'll handle that later, but we're gonna eat this taco. I know it's gonna be delicious, and then we're gonna make our way over to Poland. There's no more interruptions in between now and Poland. It's just straight to Poland from here. And without further ado, we've made it to the newest booth, which is Poland. 100% new to the event, which is kind of cool. But another thing to point out when you're coming to the event, all of the different kiosks or booths have these little like stanchions that have an explanation about the history of the country as well as the cuisine. A super little cool addition to pay attention to if you're looking at enjoying and taking a leisurely stroll throughout Busch Gardens Williamsburg and their Food and Wine Festival. And now a quick look at the menu. I think we're going to end up getting ourselves the pierogi, the kotaski or whatever. That looks like it's a dessert. The kielbasa is just the sausage. And of course we got to grab ourselves a drink as well. What do they got? Mad Dog Shooter, Tito's vodka, raspberry, and hot sauce. Whoa. I don't know if we're going to grab a drink here. And take a look at Poland. I like the decorations. The sign over there and the actual sign that says the Poland region is very nice and colorful, but also the entrance to the building. This used to be where you would get the beignets in the French area, but now it's Poland. I'm not sure if that's going to be missed or not. I know people love the beignets here at the park, but Poland may have something to offer. We'll see in a moment. Behind the ice cream shop we go. We have an amazing view of Griffin as well as the sky ride, and we got ourselves the pierogies. Now I gotta say, going over to Poland and checking out their menu, not many things attracted me. I do like pierogies, I do like kielbasa, but it didn't seem like anything special. And then for their drinks, I was really hoping that they had some type of specialty Poland red wine, and all they had was white wine options. It seems like all of the booths have only had white wine options. So I'm not a white wine drinker. If I'm gonna drink wine, it's gonna be red wine on the occasion that I do drink it. But let's try out these pierogies. Okay, pierogies, difficult to cut into with a fork. That's all I had. Maybe if I had a knife, but easy little handheld. It is a small portion. It's just 2 pierogies in this one. Also, I'm taking another L because this was $7.50. So that's a 20-cent L on the tasting lanyard as Griffin dives down. Woo! But that's a 20-cent loss on the tasting lanyard. So regarding the tasting lanyard, and hopefully you can hear me even though Griffin is passing by, I think it's important that you take into consideration how much you will be eating. I typically don't eat a whole ton at these events, so these small portions are more than enough for me, and they actually help so that I could consume multiple things. Even though I do think that $7.50 for 2 pierogies is probably very expensive on its own, I don't know. If it wasn't for the fact that I was doing these videos, the tasting lanyard would probably not make much sense to me alone. It would have to be like me, Monique, and Ollie in order for me to go ahead and get the tasting lanyard. Because outside of that, I find myself getting the $7.50 items below that. But if you do maximize it, like I said, and get the crab cake 10 times, you could make yourself a good amount of savings, $43 in savings. So take that into consideration. That being said, pierogies, pretty good. They have like a caramelized onion on top of it, but I like it. And to our next stop, we go in style. We jump on the sky ride. And when you got a baby and a stroller, the sky ride is a little hectic when you're by yourself. But the views on views are amazing. And we are having a blast at the Food and Wine Festival. Alpengeist is going. Where'd you go, Alpie? There you are. Beautiful. Our next stop is gonna be Jamaica. I want to get the patty. I feel like in the past that's been the best bang for your buck, and they typically have a frozen drink, and the frozen drinks have been escaping me. It's a warm day out. It's kind of nice up here though. While there's a little bit of a breeze the higher up you go. Now we're going into the land of dragons right behind us. But yeah, I need a frozen drink. I wanted a frozen sangria. The frozen sangria machine is not currently working. Apparently there's a part that's damaged that they're waiting to be replaced. It's been down for some time, so I can't wait for that to return. But hopefully Jamaica doesn't let us down. All right, in Jamaica it is. The Jamaican beef patty is here. Very nice. And we also have the frozen Jamaican smile. Yes. Win-win. Let's grab some food. All right, and from the Jamaica booth, we got exactly what we wanted. No need to try anything new when we know that this is delicious. Like I said, this is probably one of the best sample size items here. Good bang for your buck. I mean, look at the size of that thing. It's almost the size of my palm, and it comes with a delicious sauce and a refreshing frozen drink. I forget what it was called, but they've had it every single year. So if you've had it before at Jamaica, it's the same one. It's delicious and refreshing. All right, and on that note, I think we've done a pretty much full guide of everything you could enjoy here. There's definitely still some booths, but you guys kind of get the idea. There's some new items like the Poland booth, and I think for some people that is gonna be a very good option. Just wasn't necessarily, I guess, poop, this kid and poop. It wasn't necessarily like unique to me. Pierogies and kielbasa, delicious, but nothing that excited me. This Jamaican patty excites me, even though we've had it here before. The stuff in Hawaii excites me. So, and if we had the she crab soup return, that would severely excite me. But still, the crab cake slider, delicious. Whether or not you should get yourself the tasting lanyard, well, that's going to be up to you. There's definitely some savings to be had if you maximize and plan when you have one of those. But if you're looking at getting just a few items while you're here and you don't have a huge appetite, maybe something that you could skip. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming along. I hope you guys get an opportunity to come out to the Food and Wine Festival here at Busch Gardens Williamsburg and have a great time. We will see you guys on the next one. But up till then, don't forget to ask yourself, have you been Eddie Saint? Interesting. I completely lied. This is not like the drinks of the past. This is completely new. It kind of tastes like pineapple and like banana. Almost like a cotton candy mix. Different, but still very refreshing.